Jesus came with his disciples into the house. Again the crowd gathered, making it impossible for them even to eat. When his relatives heard of this, they set out to seize him, for they said, "He is out of his mind." The Gospel of the Lord. Today the Church celebrates the liturgical memory of Saint Ildefonso. He was Archbishop of Toledo in Visigothic Spain. Not long before he disappeared with the Muslim invasion, century 7th. He was a lover of the Virgin Mary, and particularly a defender of the perpetual virginity of Our Lady, especially after the miracle that took place in the Cathedral of Toledo, the apparition of the Virgin, the gift of a cashful. She imposed on him to remember the devotion and love, and also protection of her. From that moment, year 665, the Marian devotion in Spain, in that Visigothic Spain, which before had been Roman Spain, and which had received the honor of the first Marian apparition, is still alive the Virgin, Saint James Apostle, on the banks of the Ebro. From that moment on, devotion to Mary in Spain was extraordinary. Perhaps, saving so many distance, perhaps, it will be an equivalent to what happened centuries later in Mexico, the apparition of Our Lady to Saint Juan Diego on the hill of the Tepeyac in Guadalupe. Why did Saint Ildefonso defended the perpetual virginity of Mary before childbirth, during the childbirth, and after? And why is this so important for us? The first thing we have to say, it is a dogma of faith. It is a dogma. I have met priests who deny this dogma and who consider that Mary's virginity the most it is important before birth, and afterwards is not important, neither after or before the birth. She, they affirm, had or could have many children. Well, they are denying the Catholic faith. It is a dogma of faith. It's not an opinion. It's not a venerable tradition. It is a dogma of faith, something that we all have to believe the same at the same level, because it's a dogma of faith, believing in the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist. Possibly, those who do not believe in this, little by little, have lost doubt and believe the presence of Christ in the Eucharist, and about other things that are not convenient for them to believe, because they are not fashionable, or do not allow them to do what they want. But above all, it is important to remember this our time, because we live in a moment which sexuality, sexual relations are completely trivialized. In practically all movies and TV series, which include so many people, not only young people, it is boy meets a girl, boy sleeps with the girl immediately, as soon as they met, or very soon after they met. There is a frivolization of sexual relationships. It is as if it were superficial, as indifferent to the person as having a cup of coffee. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nothing happens. But it does happen. It's something that with sexual relationship, you bring into play the deepest part of yourself, not only your body, but your soul. You are having a love relationship, even if that relationship was only vitally. You are implying something deep inside you. Therefore, to defend the value of virginity, I repeat, we defend it and we proclaim it in our mother, always. To defend the value of virginity today is essential. It says that priests used to talk only about sex. Well, I don't know, because I'm not a priest of the past. I don't know what era they're referring to, of course, since I'm only not a priest but a baptized. This is not so. In the past, they only talk about sex, and that was the only sin. Today it seems that we never talk about it. The sin simply does not exist, I repeat, with all the terrible consequences for human anthropology, for the person, for the family relationship, that subjection that is taking place with pornography, that anyone who has a little knowledge about that person speak of how devastating its consequences are, of how formed the vision between the relationship between men and women is transformed, precisely because of the use of woman or men as a thing and not as a person. When we defend the virginity of Mary, we are defending a historical fact, real fact, but we are also defending the value of virginity, the value of chastity, even chastity within marriage. I'm not talking about virginity within marriage, but about chastity with marriage, because also a spouse have to live a certain kind of chastity. They cannot treat their spouse as a thing. They cannot treat him as an object to satisfy their desires. He is a person. I think that remembering this Spanish saint, Saint Ildefonso, we should also today not only praise Mary, but proclaim the dogma of her perpetual virginity, but give value to chastity, give value to virginity. If in the past it was an honor for a girl not to have sexual relations before her marriage, today that is considered rarely and even an abnormally. Let us ask the Lord to help us see the human body as He intended to be. In the anthropology of the body of St. Paul II, we must once again proclaim and remember, and let us ask the Lord, the intersections of the Mary, to help each other, wherever we are, priests, lately, young people, married people, to help us to live chastity. May she give us the strength to consecrate to God not only our soul, but also our body. So be it.